Greetings, everybody. This is Leviathan here, and man, I have been done with the BlizzCon flu, the con crud, whatever you want to call it, man. I was down for the count. So I'm sorry that I haven't brought you guys a lot of Diablo 4 videos. I really want to, and hopefully they'll be coming in the next few days. But I do have some Diablo 3 news. We have exciting stuff. Earlier today, patch 2.6.7 went live, and that means that we have patch notes. As you guys know, there was a PTR for this patch, and we got to test out some of the brand new sets. There's one for the Crusader and one for the Monk. Pretty underwhelming results on the PTR, but it looks like they listened to a lot of player feedback and have decided to really buff these guys into the stratosphere. It's looking already like there's going to be great results. I've been talking to some friends on Discord and such, and they're really liking the changes. So, as you can see mentioned here, all the changes are in red. We don't have a season start date. I will start off the video by saying that. I have this forum post here. It's a little, let me blow that up for you guys. So you can kind of see here, basically people are asking, you know, there's a huge post like, hey, you got the patch notes, but when is the season starting? Everyone thought it would be this coming Friday, the 15th of November. However, Nevertheless has essentially confirmed that it will not be this Friday. She did not actually give a date, but by process of elimination, we can kind of assume it's going to be the 22nd, since here in America, Thanksgiving is occurring on the 28th, which means usually a lot of companies and such have the day after Thanksgiving off, which is the 29th. So that'd be not next Friday, but the Friday after that, 2 weeks from this coming Friday, which only really leaves the 22nd in November as a possible release date for the season start. So you can guys maybe plan around that. It always starts on a Friday. There's only so many Fridays left. I don't think they'll wait until December to start it. So look towards the 22nd. Likely as the start date, but she says right here, not this Friday, no, and this was just earlier today. I'll put a link to this post in the video description. I'll also put a link to the official patch notes in the video description so you guys can make reference to either of those. Getting back to the patch notes though, not too much change from the actual PTR, but the things I did mention will highlight in red. I did do a video covering the PTR patch notes, so we'll put a link to that in the video description. There'll be a card that pops up. Feel free to check that out. But the seasonal theme is staying the same. Not sure how much the power of it has been adjusted, because people were getting pretty insane results in terms of the powers being really strong. So people were actually like preemptively ending kill streaks in order to keep getting like the first 2 kills, the power activators from the kill streaks there. So they actually the developers went and adjusted which effects happen when. So some of the less useful ones, like the exploding chickens, seeking and destroying, and the frost nova freezing enemies, are now at the earlier kill streak thresholds, and the more really good ones that people are taking advantage of, like the energy twisters and the dark geysers, have been moved up. So this should be good because it'll promote players going on longer kill streaks and not relying on just the seasonal theme to kill elites and high level greater rifts and things like that. That was one of the things people were essentially doing. These two used to be at the 15 and the 30 kill streak, respectively. And so people just do 15 and get the tornadoes. The tornadoes would end up getting to 30, and then the elites would just die from the 30. So now you have to play your greater rifts a little bit more, and your build would matter a little bit more. And also people were gaming it a little so that the angels were coming out right as the greater rift guardian was popping up. And in fact, it didn't even have to be right as the greater rift guardian was popping up. It was about like 30 seconds that they last. So people were allowing the angels, like especially with the power pylon or whatever, to just one-shot rift guardians. It's pretty insane on high-level greater rifts with multiple people in the game. So what we're looking at now is that it seems this power has been nerfed. So the angels are still at 500 kills, but they won't be nearly as strong potentially. We'll have to see. There's also some rumor, I think from BlizzCon weekend, that the 1,000 kills has been changed. I almost wonder if they did it on purpose. They knew people would go and try to see what it was on PTR. And then like they put out a little red herring one that's, hey, here's your result for PTR, but it'll actually be different in game. We'll have to wait and see when the season starts, which hopefully we'll get a seasonal update soon. Nevertheless also did mention in that post from the forums that there will be a season preview blog coming, and I imagine you'll expect that sometime next week. Or maybe later this week too, who knows? We might double back and give you another video when that pops up. There's also a mention here, we did talk about the fact that this existed, but it's now called out in the patch notes, that if you get to the end of your seasonal journey, there is a reason to do so, because you'll get the Angelic Treasure Goblin, which is actually really cool. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to the video where we covered that as well with your Season 19 preview, all the conquests, Hadrix gifts, and also the cosmetics. And there's also a portrait frame along with that too. So definitely you want to get to Guardian and complete all those objectives because these are pretty sweet cosmetics. And who knows the next time they'll come back. For instance, the cosmic, oh no, not the cosmic, the, dang, I always forget the name of these wings, but the wings that we had in season 17, galactic wings, those are really sick. And they're not popping up maybe for a while if it takes another, 15 seasons to get them to cycle back. Also, if you got the BlizzCon virtual ticket, or if you actually attended BlizzCon, then you can attach your code that you got to your account, and you'll get the wings as one of your in-game goodies for BlizzCon. They're the Lilith wings. They're actually really cool. They were revealed at BlizzCon because obviously Lilith is such a huge part of Diablo 4. They were held back from being previewed, so Lilith wings, pretty sick. Hail Lilith. If you got those, wear them with pride. Apparently they look really good on Demon Hunter, some people have been saying. So I'm stoked for that. Moving forward, the Crusader, like I mentioned, the new set, the Aegis of Valor, it got reworked pretty interestingly. So the 2-piece set bonus was really garbage. I did not like it at all on PTR. They reworked it so that attacking with Fist of the Heavens empowers you, which allows your Heaven's Fury to deal 100% increased damage for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 3 times multiplicatively. So that's a pretty interesting way to work Heaven's Fury into the build now. You might want this as a secondary skill. I was thinking about it on my drive home, and I'm not sure if this motivates you fully to use Heaven's Fury with this set in particular. Like, you still, if you're going to do Holy Shotgun or whatever, you might still go with the old setups for it, because everything else buffs Fist of the Heavens, not Heaven's Fury. So you have so much support for it. Obviously, there are other items that support Heaven's Fury too, so you might want to try to work with it, but I think you might be better off just purely focusing on Fist of the Heavens, and then you get like Heaven's Fury as a nice trade-off. Maybe that allows you to wear the Ivory Tower as your shield, since this set and all the other Crusader items, there isn't really a shield that fits. So maybe that's that. The 4-piece bonus also got reworked. Hitting with Fist of the Heavens generates 5 Wrath, which is nice because you can definitely run yourself out of Wrath quite quickly. And it reduces your damage taken by 1% for 5 seconds. It stacks up to 50 times. So they did still keep this stacking damage reduction, which a lot of people weren't too cool with. But you can work around it. It's not the worst. It's just, kind of don't like stacking damage reduction buffs, but it is what it is. This is nice, though, getting the Wrath generated there. Because you also get the belts, Court of Righteousness or something like that, which gets you a damage or a Wrath reduction on your Fist of the Heavens as well. So this should hopefully make it so that you don't run out of Wrath. Maybe you don't even need a generator, especially if you're in Akrat's champion all the time. We'll have to see. And last but not least, big boost to the 6-piece bonus. Just went from 10,000 to 20,000%. Oh, and actually, I just noticed they added Heaven's Fury here. So I take back what I said earlier, because I have trouble reading apparently. I didn't notice. So, this does This does boost Heaven's Fury in addition to Fist of the Heavens. So actually, this is the de facto set for Heaven's Fury now. Great. Okay, so if you're trying to run your Holy Shotgun and such builds, I think this is your set then. Never mind. Don't have to worry about Akrats anymore, or Akans anymore. And then they just noted, thank you so much for the feedback in 2.6.7 PTR. They added Heaven's Fury to the mix based on popular requests, and they agreed that it matches the theme and adds some game complexity. Still room for tweaks and additional iterations in the future, so they're glad to be able to introduce a set so many are excited to use. I like that they're adding in that there's potential to change the sets in the future too, in case that it still underperforms. I almost wonder if that also opens it up to, in case it overperforms, we will change. So, it could go both ways. It could actually work against us if it's super OP. But at least, they're open to continuing to work on this game. And I think that's like the most hopeful takeaway. If there's anything that you don't like yet, or if you're a little miffed at certain changes, I think this game will continue to evolve over the course of the next patches and into the next seasons. As far as the monk is concerned, they also got the new set this season, or this patch, Patterns of Justice. It was a really, really underwhelming. A lot of people were pretty bummed with it, especially because it didn't have a damage reduction in it, which is really, really bad. But they added one, and some other stuff too. So the 2-piece bonus, Swooping Wind now gains the effect of every rune, which it had previously. And they also gave you movement speed increase by 5% for each stack of Sweeping Wind. So that really is feeding into that, you're moving very quickly through your rift. The monk is really about fastness, fast attack speed, fast movement speed. Although you probably don't want fast attack speed in this case because of the Tempest Rush mechanics. But nice to get that movement speed bonus there. It will help with speed farming. 4-piece bonus. Got a damage reduction, thank goodness. So they changed it completely. Attacking with Tempest Rush reduces your damage taken by 50% and increases your spirit regen by 50. So this is really nice because no stacking damage reduction here. You just instantly get your 50% when you attack with Tempest Rush. Doesn't even say that you have to hit anything. So you just open up your Rift, start Tempest Rushing, and you're already boosted up on your damage reduction. And spirit regen is huge because, as you know, most channeling skills will eventually drain you of your resource. So there might actually be a way here, because there's lots of ways to regen your spirit passively and actively. You could probably just Tempest Rush for forever now. I think you probably could have previous to this, but this like super nails that right down. So that's pretty sick for monks. And I already know a lot of monks are super happy about the changes here. This is great. So good 4-piece change, and then 6-piece bonus. Everything stayed the same, just more damage. So this went from 10,000 to 15,000%. Just means that your Tempest Rush is going to hit nice and hard. One thing that someone was noting, I think it was Tuba in my Discord, was saying, oh no, this means that Sweeping Wind only gains the damage increase. But I think this actually does apply to Tempest Rush as well too. I think it's actually worded differently in-game. And I think people have tested it and noted that it does apply to Tempest Rush as well. I don't know why they would separate it out. So Tempest Rush and Sweeping Wind should be boosted by this 6-piece set bonus. Similar developer note here. They're happy for the feedback. Glad everyone was able to get in and test. They gave it more survivability, and they hope that it'll be an engaging build that captures that rush of holy justice, sweeping through crowds of dastardly demons. So good stuff. And then some of the ancillary items, probably would have been worth it to talk about them while I was talking about the other sets, but whatever. Dark Light, which is the one-handed flail that works with the Fist of the Heavens. This will be great for the set. Got an even better buff. So on the PTR, it had 200 to 250% as a multiplier for your Fist of the Heavens. It went to 800 to 1,000, which is a little rough because that's a pretty wide range, which means that you're going to be fishing for a good weapon. Not only does it need to be ancient, but now it also needs to have a nice power and then other affixes as well too. So good luck finding a sick one of those, but still great. The 100% chance to cast twice is still there and increase damage. So like Fist of the Heavens damage is going to be through the roof. And that's why I was saying I think it makes sense to focus more on Fist of the Heavens. But with that 6-piece affecting Heaven's Fury, it still is going to be like solid secondary damage. I just wonder if there's space on the bar for it. Like you have 6 skills, and one of them is going to be Fist of the Heavens. What will you give up to take Heaven's Fury? We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. Something interesting here that I saw, I was like, wait, Eye of the Storm lost its power? Yikes. I thought they were trying to help the monks. But they gave them something even better in just a moment. So here they mentioned with the redesign of Patterns of Justice, there was less need for this item's introduction. We've removed it for now and may consider adding it or a different legendary power at a later date. So no more when Sweeping Wind hits one enemy that it gets a nice multiplier of 100%. They got rid of that, but they did give you more power, like aggregately. In all the changes, you have way more power. So you won't miss this. You won't miss this Eye of the Storm. Vengeful Wind did get buffed in the PTR, but it got even more buffed to 600 to 800%. And you get 10 stacks of Sweeping Wind from this weapon. It's a one-handed fist weapon. Pretty crazy. So that's really nice damage increase there. Another wide range there as well. But this is the one people are most excited about. Wan Kim Lao, which is it was actually really good in vanilla D3 for monks. It's like the lightning fist weapon. It comes with innate lightning damage increase. It got a sick power, man. So hitting with Tempest Rush will activate Cyclone Strike. And both skills deal 500 to 600% increased damage. So it's a huge damage increase to Tempest Rush. And now your Cyclone Strike actually does maybe like moderate damage, which is kind of crazy. But just free Cyclone Strike is crazy. And you get it while you're Tempest Rushing. So you don't have to stop moving. And you're creating density. This sounds so cool. I think this will be a really sick way to, obviously, well, not even for speed farming, because you should just be like one-shotting most stuff if you're speed farming correctly. But for greater rifts, for like high-tier greater rifts potentially, create density, and that's one of the hallmarks of great builds, is they can make their own density and then just chop through everything with area damage. So I'm really excited to see what the monks can do with this. Like, I kind of want to play a monk, which I haven't done in a long, long time. you know, seriously anyway. So that's really sick, man. I'm excited for that. The Chantoto's nerf is still sticking. However, I've been talking to some wizards and they're saying that it's not as bad as it seems, that it'll still essentially do like maybe 1 tier less of Greater Rift than it currently does. And it was already performing quite well, like into the 130 plus range. So I think this will still be a viable build for wizards. It's still good. You don't have to worry too much. One thing that did change for Barbs, which is a little on the sad side because Barbs were just looking forward to more power just for all their stuff in this patch. They did take away the damage multiplier for Rend that was added to Lamentation. They were happy with how much better Barbs are performing, but they were concerned that they went too far because Barbs are doing like 140 crazy GRs a solo on the leaderboards. So now they've removed this one legendary power and they're hoping that this will be just enough to bring it back in line and they can observe how it performs in Season 19, and then they might add this back in. You know, they're open to this change like they've been saying. And there is still a patch coming for Barbs where they'll add their new set and really focus on the class. So tons of more love coming from Barbs. I think that Barbs kind of freaked out when they saw that this was going to be a thing. Should be okay. No matter what, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh God, Whirlwind's over, Whirl Rend is done. It's actually still going to be a really strong build, guys. Better than it ever has been and still very competitive. I don't know if it beats Hoda. That's probably something to figure out, but it's still going to be super playable. Like, you should still play it if you want to play Whirlwind, because you'll be doing the best Whirlwind you've ever done in your life. And that is essentially it. In terms of changes there was one change. And this is weird because this is not in red, but this was an additional change. The Wizard. For the most popular build that's being used for groups for trash killing, this basically is done. They have nerfed that build. They fixed an issue where certain item bonuses, like Death Wish, would persist between changing forms to and from Archon. So here we go. A developer note. A few patches ago, we were going to continue to observe Bazooka Wizard to see its performance over time. We thought it would require a high level of skill to execute, and it would make it relatively less utilized as a hard but rewarding gameplay option, but that has not been the case. Many feel it's way too mandatory. In the context of this and the other changes like they did for the Bone Ringer and Chantotos, they think that it makes sense to make this change now. So the Wizard got double hit. Bazooka Wizard is pretty much dead. However, people are saying that you'll still be able to do really well if you want a Wizard trash clearer by going back to the Star Pack builds of old. You know, it'll still be performing pretty well in groups. It just won't be the clear-cut answer. So I'm kind of curious to see where the meta ends up. And probably still will be a Wizard trash clearer, but maybe there's room for something else. Maybe go back to the Witch Doctor with Air Cure and Fire Bats. Well, again, you gotta deal with the lag of area damage and all that. Who knows? But in any case, this is definitely something to be wary of if you are a 4-player Greater Rift pusher. You're probably going to want to change things up or practice some stuff here. And that's it, guys. That's it. I don't want to... This video's probably gone on too long already. I hope that you are looking forward to this patch. It is live right now. You can get it in play, at least for the Americas. Hop into the comments. Let me know what you think about the changes, what you're still excited for. If you're hoping that the season goes live next Friday, the 22nd, I am looking forward to it for sure. I will definitely start with the Demon Hunter because they get the UE set to start, which is an insanely fast start. But I'm curious about a lot of things. I want to play Barb. I want to play Crusader. I kind of want to play Monk. So I don't know what I'm going to do, guys. But let me know what you're going to do. I want to hear from you. Maybe one of you will be able to convince me on what the heck I should do. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you, as always. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any. And until next time, catch you later. Check out the stream, twitch.tv/Leviathan111. Adios for now.